All right, good morning. Just do a quick audio check here. See if everything's good. All right, good morning. Let's see here. So as you can see, we kind of sold off there overnight. Just trying to look and see where everything is at the moment. All right. So we sold down to 15,268 this morning and then kind of bounced out of there. Let's see where our midnight open was. Excuse me. Basically 15,300. That was the high. 268 was the low. So we're trying to see if we can get some sort of structure shift here. Either kind of sweep this low at the 75, although we don't really, well, yeah, I guess we kind of need to, because that was low at 145. So possibly just kind of looking for a sweep of this 74. Could take out those 68 there also. But probably just looking for the sweep of 74 here. Sweep that. And then no, I don't know what I'm talking about here. Yeah, that's not right. So we already swept the high here because the open was 15,300. So we swept that. So let's see what happens here. Let's just look for some a market structure shift here. If you can see, I'm not on my funded account. It's because I went on there yesterday and paid the fee, but for whatever reason they did not get it set up in time. I checked it multiple times throughout the night and it just was not set up yet. So yeah, it's kind of pulling back here too. So anyways, we're still trading on the this Apex account that we're working on. We still need I guess about $1,800 to get this account funded. So it's going to be working on that one this morning. Custom time. Let's see here. Let's kind of be patient here, see what we get. Kind of double bottomed right there. Do have a pivot down at 266 on the NQ. I'm just going to watch it and see what happens here. Yes, traded back down to that 64 level. I feel like that 63, 64 level is kind of a bounce zone there. That's what we feel like. It was kind of tempting right here to take a short down to the 68 level, but may not get there, and it doesn't have to get there, so that's why we didn't take it, because it does not have to get there. Traded down to the 72 so far. Kind of tempting to just take a long on the ES off this kind of support area here. Kind of tempting. No need to do anything rash, though. Let's just wait for confirmation, I guess. All right, kind of testing this low a day here. See what we get. Looks like the ES is flirting with that 63 area as well. Making a new low there on the NQ. Kind of tempted just to throw in kind of a filler long here. I believe it's going to bounce in this area, but it really could still sell off a little more.
Order filled.
We'll toss in a little filler long here just to kind of see what happens. Turn the volume down on this thing. That's loud. Yes, looks a little bouncy there. We'll go ahead and go to break even on it just in case it comes back. Want it to kind of bounce out of there strong. If it doesn't, then that's okay. Just kind of taking a little filler here. See if, yeah, there you go. Stopped us out basically for break even. I was thinking it might bounce out of there hard, but didn't want to really, it's not really a setup. It's just kind of a feel entry based on what the ES is going to do. So wasn't really waiting for confirmation there, just kind of, going off feel. But didn't let it run its course. So didn't want to give a trade like that too much room anyway. Even though we're never really in the red there, but you get what I mean. And of course it bounces right out of there now, huh? But it could come back and make a new low. Really looking for a structure shift to the upside anyway, to be honest. That's kind of what we're looking for. We'll target that 305 liquidity up there, potentially. If we can get us a little shift back to the upside, and have to break above 83 to kind of have a shift to the upside there. And leave us some sort of PD array for an entry. Starting to get a little push up here, looking better. That's the thing, I could just go ahead and enter, but I'm not going to be able to take the size I want to take just off of a momentum trade here, so. Even though that entry down at the bottom there is looking pretty solid at this point. Let's kind of see what we get here. It might take one more run at the lows. Just kind of be patient here. See what it offers us. Coming back, testing those lows again here. Trying out the lows one more time. Kind of bouncing out of there again. It is quite tempting to just jump in long here, to be honest. problem is every time I try that, I usually get burned on it. So let's just wait for confirmation. Yeah, still holding up here at the 64 level. Just kind of watching the price action, see what we get here. Now, I guess technically if it trades above 80 here, we'd have a shift in structure. I'd feel more comfortable if it at least broke two of those. So 83 would be nice. Would be your second swing high. The only real problem there is that is also trading into that bearish fair value gap there on the 3-minute chart. Let's check this thing. Kind of approaching that 80 level here, pushing up through there. Tapping the 80 level here. Really like to see it pierce that 83. That would be kind of ideal. Pierce that 83 level. Right here. It might not. I hope it does, but it might not. If it doesn't, that kind of will leave us with a decision here, because whether or not we're going to consider this a shift. I mean, technically it is, you know, but not a very strong one if it doesn't break that 82, 83 level. And that's not that strong either, to be honest. But that'd be kind of what we're looking for. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. It helps out the channel. Appreciate it. If you're interested in trading futures, we do have a link to Top Step for 90% off in the description, as well as the coupon code in the banner there. That sale does end tonight at midnight. Ends tonight at midnight. Like I said, I did have full intentions of trading my funded account in the London session this morning, but unfortunately wasn't ready. So here's the decision now. We technically have a shift in structure here, but I don't love it. to be honest with you, just because we didn't take out the second swing high yet. I mean, it still might. But I guess we're only risking 8. It'll be 8 handles here that we'll be risking, so. $73 to 84, that's only 11. Just trying to do the quick math here and see what the risk to reward would be like here. All right, now it's taking it out. So that seems a bit more favorable. So we need $1,856 to get this account funded. I was thinking of maybe trying to do that in one trade, but I don't think that's really realistic. That's 5 contracts is kind of the maximum that I feel comfortable taking. Now what we could do, just kind of separate these, that way I can leave the ATM strategy on there. And then we could put the possibly target up here with 1. Something like that, potentially. Let's see what happens here. See if we get tagged in and see if we are on the right side or not. Risking 7 handles here. 4, 3, 7. Yeah. So that's about $700. See if this thing's going to try to do me dirty like it did last night. Came within 3 ticks of my entry. And then
Order filled.
win anyway.
Order filled.
Alright, there we go. And we're in. So we'll see what happens here. See whether we are on the right side or not. This is the setup we were looking for, so you're either right or you're wrong, you know, at this point. That's all you can do. If we break that first swing high there at 83, we will move our stop to break even on the last contract if we can get there. Just kind of watching the ES here. It's retesting that 63. Not really in love with how it's looking, to be honest, on the ES there. Kind of has me second guessing this entry a little bit. Want to kind of see it pop out of this area right here. Don't want to see it trade back down too deep. ES kind of holding up right there at the 63 level. Need it to kind of turn back up here to get this thing going. Since I'm not in love with this, I'm going to take off a majority of my size if it comes back down. I don't know, I have this sinking feeling that this thing is gonna
Stop filled.
Turn back down here. So for that reason, I am going to take off the majority of the size here. Sometimes you just kind of have an intuition as to what this thing might do. I guess we can put the stop where it needs to be on this one, and if we may be down a little bit here if this thing comes back and stops us out. Feels like that this thing's not gonna hold, that this is not a good enough shift. And I just now noticed that we traded up into the gap on the 3-minute chart. I don't know why I didn't notice that. Traded up into that gap there. So we in fact might just be offsides here.
Order filled.
All right, I'm not in love with it, so I'm going to take it off. Gonna take it off. Something just feels wrong. It's not going like I thought it was gonna go. The ES is looking far more bearish than it does bullish, to be honest with you. So US trying to make new lows here. We may have just missed an entry short there. May have just misread that. So all we can do at this point is just wait, see if this thing trades back up into this gap one more time. If it does, then we could potentially take a entry short there. So you see there, it would have stopped me out, so I don't feel so bad about taking my size off at basically break even, because we would have been stopped out there for a full loss, $1,000 loss, had we not done that. So now the question is, does this thing trade back up into this gap or not? Could potentially take an entry in this area. We'll put us a short order on here. See if we get tagged in on it. Oh, no, we don't want. That's a little too much size, 8 contracts. I don't know. I don't like second guessing myself, right? I don't like doing that. But sometimes it happens. And this would probably just need to stay here. Let's see, 82.75 to 64. 63.75. Math is hard. I think that's 19 handles though. So let's see if this thing offers another entry. I mean, sometimes it does. Sometimes, you know, it will trade out of an area and then trade back into it. Like I said, I don't typically like changing my idea, but in this case, I think that's probably correct. What do you guys think? Any ideas here in the chat? You bearish? You bullish? What do you think? How's it looking to you? ES traded down to 61.75, kind of bounced out of there. The reason I was thinking that we might turn up was because, you know, there was a lot of support there at the 63 level for the ES. But it's not necessarily, I mean, it's held it. 61.75 is not like an exactly, you know, a breakaway, breakout, breakdown. But you can always look at this and probably make a case for both directions. A lot of times I'm trying to make a case for the long side, but I mean, we swept the low. That's the reason why I was thinking we would move up. So we swept the overnight high, or the midnight high. And then we swept the midnight low. So usually you would think that you'd move up from there. As we'll find out from here. We will find out. See if our initial intuition was correct or not. We certainly would have got stopped out on that first entry, so didn't quite tag us in there. Kind of tickled our entry, and then is trying to move down without us. ES is kind of moving back down as well. Retest those lows. Well, we were hoping for an entry there. Didn't really want to just market order into it, because that's what I did last night. We did that yesterday and cost ourselves 5 handles of profit on 5 contracts. That's $500. So we don't want to do that tonight. We might have just missed it by don't want to say we weren't paying attention, just didn't notice it. I was kind of focused on that 1 minute chart there. I think I was focused on this gap here and see how I didn't quite make it to it. I wasn't really paying attention over here. So that kind of feels bad there. That thing came within 4 ticks of tagging us in there, and now it's approaching the target. Could potentially bust through there without us. Sometimes that's going to happen, but we'll see. I always find it odd when the ES and the NQ are kind of trading towards the same numbers. You know, the ES is at 62 and a quarter, and the NQ's right here in the 60s as well. Pushing on down here. Do have that pivot there at 66 on the NQ. Just kind of a waiting game at this point. I don't want to just kind of FOMO into this entry here. I'd rather this tag us in up here. Like I said, a lot of times it'll bounce in and out of that gap once or twice. It's only visited the gap once, so see if it makes another appearance. ES is not really Honestly, the ES has, well, I guess it has kind of had presented a short setup there. I guess you could have got short at 65 on the ES there. 65.75 down to 61.75 is a low, so not quite 5 handles there yet. Kind of outline this box, this gap, so you can kind of see what we're looking for there. Kind of feels bad that I missed that first entry, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen sometimes. So we're looking for it to kind of trade back up into that box one more time. Well, there's the box. There we go. Would like for it to trade back up into this box one more time before it takes out this low. Not that it has a huge impact on it if it takes out the low first, but that's just my preference. So that's kind of the idea. If it takes out the 64.50 area before returning to the fair value gap, then we'll probably scratch this trade. I mean, I guess I could, excuse me, could have taken an entry here on the 1 minute chart. Did trade back up into the gap there. Kind of missed that too. But, you know, that's 10 handles lower than the other entry. It always feels bad when you see the trade and you miss the entry, and then you know, you're fighting the FOMO to get into it. Because even right here, you know, even this entry here on the 1 minute, I mean, like, man, where does my stop have to be? Really, it has to be all the way up here. I'm fighting the urge to just kind of jump in right here. So I have the urge to just jump in short here. We still could get 10 plus handles out of this move if it turned down right here. The only problem is the drawdown, right? I mean, this could trade all the way back up into here. With 5 contracts, I don't know that we could take that much drawdown, but we could reduce size. Could reduce size to 2 here. And just try to get a little $400 winner.
Order filled.
All right, we'll do that. We'll just try to take a little small winner here, potentially. Let's take one off there, and we'll see if we can't run one a little lower. And again, we may have to move our stop all the way up here. If it does trade back into this box, into this fair value gap, we will look to add to our position at that point. It'll feel bad, but it's what we'll do. Yep, it's probably going to do just that. This just goes back to my impatience. I mean, no real reason to enter there other than just, you know, the fear of missing out. So if you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. If you're interested in trading futures, again, Apex does have the 90% off sale that's good through midnight tonight. Got the coupon code in the banner above, link in the description below. All the things. It helps out the channel. I do appreciate it. If you're new here, I do trade the London and New York session 5 days a week, streaming those. Currently am using an Apex $50,000 challenge account. I do have a funded account that I was planning on using this morning, but Apex did not get it processed in time. It does say on there that it could take up to a day, so most of the time though I hear that it doesn't take that long. Nutty Bar, how's it going? Good morning. You're up early getting some work done, I see. You must had some designs to do today. You're just in time, Nutty, to see me FOMO into a trade here. Kind of took a long on this structure shift here. Kind of felt bullish to me. We broke this swing high and this swing high. So when it traded back into the gap down here, I took a long entry, but didn't feel great about it because it wasn't looking too bear or too bullish at that point. So I took most of my size off for break even and left one contract on. Then quickly realized we were probably off sides, and it then realized on the 3-minute chart that it traded back into the fair value gap. That was likely the best entry there at 82. And then saw this gap here and thought, well, traded back into this one. I'll just go ahead and take reduced size. So just took 2 contracts short instead of 5. and kind of paying the price for it right now. Like getting up early and catching up on work so you can focus more on trading during the day. Yeah, that's good. It's good that you got a job where you can do that, right? Where you can trade while you're working, or work anytime, kind of. I saw you post a video last night, pretty late. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. That thing looked like it went live like at like 10 p.m. or something, 10 or 11. We will get to watching it though. Yeah, I stayed up until midnight last night waiting on. I thought, man, are they going to get this account live, the funded account for me? Because I didn't, I waited until I got back from vacation to take my 7th trading day, and then paid the fee last night or yesterday afternoon at like 7, and did not. I don't know. It's just not set up yet. I'm certain they'll have it in the morning, but kind of wanted to trade it in the London session because I typically do a little better when I don't take bad entries. Not that I don't think this trade will work out. I think it will. I just could have certainly had a better entry. Could have had a better entry there. Well, it's just kind of ping-ponging around right now. We're kind of approaching the top of the hour. I would imagine it's probably going to trade back up into this fair value gap before continuing lower. That's kind of been the theme lately. For some reason, at 4 a.m., it will do its thing there. So we'll go ahead and put another contract on here at 82.75 if it makes it up in there. Probably going to get a little spike up here at the top of the hour. You got another one passed. Nice. So you must be. Does that put you back at 20? Because I thought you had kind of like, or you no, you're still trading 3 other ones, I think, right? So I think that puts you at 17 if my math is right. I could be wrong. It's unreal to me how you pass 20 accounts at one time. I mean, it's tough to do. Or I don't remember if you did them all at once or if you broke it up. But either way, getting 20 funded accounts is it's tough to do. For whatever reason, when I use the trade copier, it messes with my psyche a little bit. Seeing the number at the top here, I want to try to set up a Ninja or something, another platform, but instead of it saying $300, if there's 10 accounts, it says 3,000. So kind of messes with my psyche a little bit there. All right, so we crossed over the 4 o'clock and it traded back up into the fair value gap here. Now we just need this gap to hold. And if it doesn't, then it just doesn't. We'll be stopped out there for whatever that is. $1,000, $1,200. It won't feel good, that's for sure. But you can see, I mean, this did offer from 82 down to 64. So about 18 handles to the downside that it offered. So We'll see if it offers it again. 17. All right. Nice. Yeah, I was watching you on my TV yesterday in the living room, and I couldn't see apparently I couldn't see the total P&L. I only saw the commission. So I thought you were green. I thought you were up like, I don't know, $10, $12 on each account. But you're actually down about 40 or 50 bucks because I guess the screen kind of cut off the side where the total P&L was, and I didn't realize that. So you're like, man, I got faked out a couple times. I'm like, well, he's green, so what does it matter? As long as you're green, right? Even if it's 10 bucks. But I couldn't see the rest of it. All right, so now my idea here is we want to see this trade back down, at least below 70 here pretty quickly. If it doesn't, then I won't be in love with it at that point. We need it to hold the gap there. I always know the retest of the gap, like the second entry is never as good as the first. So this is a little bit more of a risky entry. Hypothetically, though, it should be okay, but you never know. Kind of watching the this order block here, seeing if the body of the candle kind of respects that 50% level. It's kind of right there where it's at right now. It's okay for the wicks to kind of go beyond that, but you'd like to see the body of the candle really close below that. Not in love with it at this point. We may just take this off if this doesn't start moving down here pretty quickly. You got faked out, trying to get better with that. Well, hey, look at this entry. Right? Top Step listened, and they did make some changes for the payout policy. Yeah. All the prop firms, you're going to have some sort of issue. At least that's what I noticed. Going to have some sort of issue with something to do with all of them. So whether one's better than the other, who knows? I think that sometimes you can do better with ones versus the other ones. I've been trading with Top Step for several months now, and I got through the step one, fairly easily, and then I just struggled with step two. Don't really know why, but that's kind of where I was at with it. And I guess like you, I didn't even really look into the payout policy. The 50% rule was always there. I just didn't really notice it. Didn't pay that much attention to it. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, I was able to pass through one of the Apex challenges. I didn't take all of these very seriously, which I probably should have. Anytime you're spending money on something, even if it's only $18, you should really take it seriously. But I didn't do that. Listen, it helps Nutty, right? If we don't take them seriously, then that's just more commission for Nutty there. More affiliate money. I did want to ask you, since you're in here, as far as the affiliate money goes, how does the payout work on that? Do they just do that automatically, or do you have to go in there and request a payout for that? Or I kind of assumed it's just maybe every 2 weeks like they do their payouts, that maybe they automatically do it, but I'm not sure. I didn't really see anywhere on there that said anything about that. So basically, if I see a body of the candle close above this fair value gap, I'm probably going to kill this trade. I really want to see this thing move down fairly quickly here. I don't love taking, 10, 15 handles of drawdown here, but because of my less than ideal entry, that's kind of where we're at. $15th of the month, automatic, nice. Hey, Visible, how's it going? Does anyone know if you can use the same Trade of 8 instance with different companies? Copy and top step trades to Apex. Not that I found. Whenever you click on the account, you're only going to see your Apex accounts because you have a different login for both. Now, I do think there is a copier that you can pay for that might do that. Nutty probably knows more about that than I do, but on Trade of 8, it's kind of difficult. I know on Ninja or Quant Tower, there's copiers that you can do that on, but not on Trade of 8 that I'm familiar with. So it's just because you have different logins for whatever reason. So that's, if you've noticed, Visible, that's what's happened with me. Oh, nice. Thanks, Nutty. I did notice we got some commissions, so I was like, hey, I wonder who that is. You never know, right? Well, as you can see here, I'm on account number 18, so I've used yours 18 times. You got a little bit of ways to catch up. At least I'm thinking, right? But, yeah, Visible, I don't think that there's much you can do there, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Nutty says Quant Tower is the best option for that, but not on Trade of 8. Trade of 8 kind of makes it hard. I don't like that you can't use the ATM strategy on Trade of 8 with the trade copier. I mean, I guess if you're sitting there babysitting your trades, it's not that big a deal. But sometimes I like to walk away or go to Walmart, as Nutty says, put on that Walmart trade and walk away. But come on, this thing's moving in the wrong direction. We probably are going to either get stopped or have to kill this. It's looking a little more bullish than I like. So far, the candle hasn't closed above the box, but I have a feeling this next one's probably going to. It's coming for me. I think I'm going to kill this trade, guys. I'm not in love with how deep this is retracing. Looks quite bullish to me at this point.
Order filled.
Yeah, just going to go ahead and take the L on that one because it's looking quite bullish. I don't like taking trades off of it when they don't hit my stop, and this did kind of come back down and potentially will trade back down, but just wasn't in love with the look of that. As you can see, I mean, this trend on the 1 minute chart's pretty well up. which is kind of interesting because my initial entry was, you know, bullish here, but Quant Tower comes with a trade copier with it, and that's nice. I mean, I guess I could have gave this a little more time, but I don't know. It just feels like this thing's gonna be moving up here. Sometimes you just have to take the L and move on. I missed the initial entry. That's the thing that really feels bad. If I would have been kind of, I don't want to say paying attention, but if I would have saw this, we would have been short at 82, and we would have been, you know, we would have at least got 10 handles. So this thing is feeling pretty bullish now. Question is, do we want to take another entry here? Maybe long.
Order filled.
We'll take us a little long here and give it a go. Could burn us in both directions, right? It could. Let's kind of see here. Really want to see the candle kind of close above the box there and just kind of turn that into support, move higher. We'll see. Trying to see where I should put my stop at. I mean, I'd really want to put it up here somewhere, but that's not really a smart place for it. That's probably still too high, but we'll put it there and see what happens. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. It helps the channel. Appreciate it. So obviously this trade's not going to get us back, you know, all of our losses here, but we're just trying to book a small win to feel a little better. Really kind of fumbled the silver bullet setup there. It happens. Kind of watching the midway point of this fair value gap. If it doesn't hold the midway point there, then we're probably just going to kill this. Somewhere in there. Kind of glad we're not in the funded account the way we're trading this morning. Not great. Missed opportunities, and then kind of this kind of a FOMO trade. That's what I would call it. Gonna probably burn me in both directions. But we don't want to let it get too far out of hand here. See if we can get this pushed through here. You have a small fair value gap here on the 3-minute chart, but we should be able to trade through that. Get back into those 300s. Been kind of just selling off since 10 o'clock last night. Just kind of sell. So maybe that's why my initial thought was bullish. Because a lot of times when you see a big sell off after hours, you know, you kind of start getting to move back up. And plus the ES, you know, we got a lot of support there at the 44.63, traded down to the 61.75, and has held that level pretty strong, actually. In hindsight, that's pretty easy to see, but when you're in the middle of it, sometimes you don't always see it all that clear. So we start moving up with some energy here, I'll probably move this first target up to 06, and then we'll move this next one up. But we have to kind of start moving through here quickly. Just as we say that, it says, nah, we don't think so. We do not think so. Nutty, you'll probably think I'm crazy. I've been playing around with this 10-second chart. I'm sure you've noticed the horse crew in your stream occasionally. Bartholomew Smurfington and Horse Trading Company. I've seen them in your crew. I've seen them in your stream telling you to look at the 10-second chart. Anyways, they got their own Discord, and I joined their Discord. It's free. It's a private Discord, but it's interesting. Those guys are making some nice money using that 10-second chart. I just haven't immersed myself in the strategy yet. I'm not great. Obviously with anything when it's new to you, it seems crazy, but they're making money. Yeah. They're super nice guys, but the 10-second strategy, I mean, it's in and out. They're looking for like 6 ticks at a time, taking a lot of entries and exits throughout the day, but it seems to be working for them. I haven't made it work for myself yet, but I mean, it's, like I said, Crypto Dylan, I think you probably saw him in your stream at some point too. You need some heart meds first for the 10-second chart. Yeah. I mean, actually, I found after you watch it for a while, it's kind of no different than any other chart. But it's very zoomed in, so big picture, you're not seeing the big picture. You're only seeing, very small moves, very quick and small moves. But they trade pretty much all hours of the day. I don't think they're up during the London session. But they are, they're, giving out alerts throughout the entire day. So I think the last message probably came through at like midnight with them. Yeah, 12:36 a.m. So, all right, not in love with this thing now. It's pulling back. It's just looks like it's gonna burn me in both directions here. Trying to give it a minute to see if this thing will pop out of here, but maybe not. I don't like that candle closed below the midpoint of that gap there. Probably just going to go ahead and take my L. We'll just move the stop up to the bottom of the gap. Somewhere in there, just reducing the risk to $400 here. That'll put us being down like 1280, which will hurt, but it'll still give us room to be able to navigate on this account to get it back to positive. We'll still have about 1,000 in drawdown, so we will have to hit the next trade though, most likely. Probably going to stop us out here. This trade probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world. I'm not happy with taking this entry. I mean, like I said, these other ones kind of FOMO'd into this short here. Should have waited for it to trade up into the gap, and I didn't. And actually, I mean, to be honest with you, I would not have been stopped out because one tick above that top candle is where I would have had my stop. So stop would have been like right. Would it have stopped me? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, one tick above. So it would not even have stopped me out there. Well, it's tickling my stop here, but I hadn't touched it yet.
Stop filled.
And there you go. It hit the stop. So yeah, not my greatest showing in the world here, honestly. Probably should have just killed this trade. You know, in hindsight, it's easy to say that. Like, oh, I should have just killed it. But this is holding this. It did hold this gap. I mean, technically, it did not close above it. And now it's kind of back to my original, where the original entry would have been. So not my greatest trading session here. But that's okay. That's going to happen sometimes. And of course, it's going to just sell off now. Probably come all the way down, take out the low. ES is kind of moving back down here, trying to retest the lows as well. No. No, you're not bad luck, Nutty. It has nothing to do with you. I took the entry here before you ever said anything, see? And just manually, I kind of broke my rules on this trade because I'm not supposed to manually take it off, even though it kind of helped me here, because I would have taken a pretty big loss here. But my rule is to not manually take it off. But man, when it's coming one tick within your stop, it's hard not to do it. So hard not to do it. But if you haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I do stream 5 days a week. I stream the London session and the New York session 3 to 4 a.m. and then I'll start the New York session around 9:20 a.m. and we'll stream that session just until we don't feel like trading anymore. Sometimes that's noon, 1 o'clock. Sometimes it's 11. Really just depends. So, but yeah, this thing looks like it looks like it's probably gonna just sell back down. The ES, like I said, is kind of retesting the lows here. But that's gonna do it for me in the London session here. I will be live at 9:20 a.m. Again, if you guys are interested in trading futures, Apex has 90% off through tonight at midnight. The sale will end. They've already confirmed that they were going to end the sale at midnight. I don't think they'll extend it. So, coupon code in the banner, link in the description. I appreciate everybody watching, and we will see you guys next time. Enjoy your morning.